Hello, I am your unofficial Australian board game correspondent, and today we are having a look at Unmatched Adventures, specifically the one with the turtles. So, this is the solo co-op version of Unmatched, and I just played it for the first time the other day because I really wanted to learn how to play this game so I could make this video, because quite frankly, Unmatched I think has always been one of the best IP-based games just from the variety, but also just one of the best games full stop, especially coming from a TCG background or even just a regular kind of gaming background. And that's what brings us here. So today we have Leo and Raph going up against the evil Shredder, as he tries to take over the streets of New York with this map represented here. So, in Unmatched Adventures, essentially Shredder is trying to make all the boroughs fall so they all go over to his, I guess, his evil side. He just takes them over and they all do his bidding. And by doing that, he is essentially just trying to stay alive as long as possible so his little foot soldiers, which are represented by these little tokens, can come into play. And then once they do come into play, they will take up these spots here where it will take a maneuver action to be able to get rid of them. Now it's important that it is a maneuver action that makes you move over them and move past them. That's what gets rid of them, not just moving in general from any cards with any key text that let you move. So he is trying to do that, and as he is doing that, of course, we will be pulling cards from the various decks for all the characters, but I will kind of leave that up to us to discover together as we start this playthrough. So, in Unmatched Adventures, the first thing you do is you grab this little initiative deck, you give it a shuffle, and essentially there are cards in here for each of the characters, and then we flip and reveal the first card, which is Player 1. Cool, so Leo is Player 1, as you see over here, and I'll be putting down the initiative cards on the bottom here, and I guess we now get to take our first turn. So my ability as Leonardo is at the start of my turn, I can move any fighter one space, and that includes both friendly and enemy fighters. So I can really see if I can make things happen in this general area here. Cool, so these are the cards in my hand. So I've got a good mixture here with one event card from Splinter as well. And I think what I'm gonna do for my turn is I'm gonna really try and take out one of these sidekicks. So, there are a big collection of kind of sidekicks that come in the box, and essentially you will place as many out on the board compared to how many players you have. So I'm playing a two-person game, so I have got Bebop and Rocksteady and Baxter Stockman here. They have their own decks, but they essentially are just going to make things harder for me because why not? Being a turtle obviously isn't hard enough. Anyway, so I use my ability to move Baxter from here to here. Then I will start by taking a maneuver action. So I'm going to move one spot there. And then I reckon with Splinter, we're going to go 1, and that shouldn't be on the board. That was from my setup, which changed everything. But we're just going to go 1 and stay on this spot here. I will draw a card, and I have another purple card there. And I think we are just going to go for an attack. So the way that attacks work here is you start by picking the card that you want. So I'm going to play Eat, Sleep, and Breathe Ninjutsu. And I'm really hoping that for this combat, I will be able to win, but also see if I can get the effect. Now, when it comes to the enemies, they each have their own deck, as you'll see here. And it is a small deck, and they will each do different things, but there is also one card in there that I always describe as kind of like a pump fake. It will either be a fake attack or a fake defense. It's a either or, it's the one card. And essentially all that card dictates is that they will be shuffling the discard pile back into their draw deck. So I play that, we take the top card, we flip it over, and okay, sometimes they explode. So this has a defensive value of 3, meaning that my attack of 3 is kind of blocked. And after that, if Baxter won combat, each player discards the top card of their deck. Okay, so unfortunately for us, technically Baxter won the combat as he didn't take any damage. So we will have to discard the top card of our deck, which is not fun. And we have discarded a great defensive card, unfortunately. But after combat, we can place each fighter adjacent to our fighter in another space in their zone. So what that means for us is we can then go and grab this guy and we can send him Let's send him down here. Well, it needs to have a bit of green. So I've put myself, I'll chuck him there. The thing is, they kind of move 3, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, we'll pull the next card from the initiative deck, and it will be Bebop and Rocksteady. Okay. So when it comes to activating enemies, the main thing is that they will never attack twice in one turn. So there is a targeting, there is kind of like an order in terms of how they're targeting their priorities. The first thing they will do is if they are adjacent to someone, they'll just attack. And so we'll flip that top card of the deck. The second thing they would do is they would then move to see if they can move to be within range of a successful attack. If they can't do either, then they will push the, I guess what is this? This is the threat track. They'll push the threat track up by 1. Just because they'd be evil. So Rocksteady, Bebop and Rocksteady are up here. They have a move of 3, so we're going to go 1 and 2. We'll go straight into combat with Raph. Okay, so immediately we're having a look at the cards that Raph has, and he's got 2 defensive cards here. Mainly it is Break Something, which I can cancel all during combat and after combat effects on the card. And if no effects were cancelled, it'd be 2 damage to the adjacent fighter. It is still early on. Raph does have 17 starting health, so I think I'm actually not going to defend, and we'll see what the guys do. Oh, that was not a good choice. So that's going to deal 4. Now you see this card is split into 2, so essentially the after combat will only resolve on the defensive side. But right now we are going to take 4 damage. Okay, so we have moved down to 13 health, unfortunately for us, but we will reveal the next card and player 2. Awesome. So we now get to have a crack at this. So if we're looking at what Raph's ability is, his is interesting. So on each of our turns, the first time we lose combat, we get to gain an action. So a lot of the combos in his kit actually evolve around trying to lose the first one, to tank it, and then seeing how we'll be able to go in terms of seeing those combos come together. I know I just kind of said some weird stuff, but essentially, yes, we're trying to lose the first one so that we can then take 2 more actions or play cards that will do things. Now, I think we should take advantage of Bebop and Rocksteady being so close to us that we are going to go for a Psy attack. So this is a 4 damage purple card, and we will now reveal the top card of their deck, which is Deception. Perfect. So this card is worth 0 and 0, and essentially when we draw this, we grab his other card and we will shuffle it back into the deck. But what this means for us is we get to strike through with our attack, dealing 4 damage to Bebop and Rocksteady, taking them from 10 all the way down to 6. Cool, so that's a pretty good first attack. We're going to follow it up by playing the Let's Do This. So this is a 1 cost, not 1 cost, sorry, 20 TCGs. This is a 1 attack, and I'm hoping that with this we were able to lose, which we do, and perfect. So we've lost the combat. What does it say down here? If Bebop and Rocksteady started this turn in the villain zone, its value is 5 instead. Technically it did, because it started here and then it moved, but that's completely fine. What a shame. We lose the combat. We get to draw a card from this ability here, and we will draw a Break Something, another good one of those. But most importantly, we get to take another action. Okay, so he is standing right up in our face. I think what we should do is we should just go for another attack. So we're going to try and play Crowd Control. So we will put 2 down there, and this again is going to give us some more card draw. I flip 4 and a 3, it's blocked. If it's in the villain zone, deal 2 damage to each hero, but it is not in the villain zone because the villain zone is blue, so it will block the damage. We get to draw 1 card for each adjacent opponent, which we have here and here, and then we get to deal 1 damage to each of those fighters. So Bebop and Rocksteady will take another point of damage, meaning that in 1 turn, we have punched them all the way down to half health. Good on you, Raph. Okay, so the next person to have a turn is Baxter Stockman. Okay, so Baxter is down here, meaning he's going to move 1 to be within combat range. He's going to target Leo. I think that's how I usually play it. You know, being someone who plays a lot of Final Girl, I try and make things as worse as they can for me. So we are going to defend this attack. I'm not making the same mistake I did with Raph. And we are going to play Quick Strike, which is going to let us draw 1 after this, hoping that nothing gets cancelled or anything, obviously. And Baxter does for 2. And after combat, place a Mouser token on the highest number starting space without 1. If no initiative card, if no token was placed, put his initiative card on the bottom of the deck. So 3 to 3, meaning we block it. We draw a card for the after combat. And now we have to put 1 of his Mouser tokens on this spot here. So let's show you what it is. It is really, anytime that we enter this spot, we have to discard the top card of our deck. I don't believe it applies to Shredder, so I'm not going to have it apply to Shredder, but that's just a fun little thing that we'll have to deal with a little bit later. Okay, so that was his actions. Now we'll go to Shredder to the streets. Each player deploys a 1-foot soldier to Shredder's burrow. So this is where it is his win con, or the main pressure he's applying. So he's in Manhattan, so we're going to get to pick where we want to put these. And they go on these little spots here. So I'm going to put 1 up there, and I reckon I'll put another one over here. So hopefully Splinter can kind of move through with those maneuvers and get rid of them. Our last one is Shredder. So Shredder will take a turn, and he's going to move 3 spots. So he'll go 1 and 2 and be right next to Leo down here. Having a look at the cards we could play, I enjoyed having some of that. I know we've already lost one of these, and there's only 1 left in the deck, so we might have to hold on to that for later. Sure, let's go Eat, Sleep, and Breathe Ninjutsu. So we are going to play this, and we're going to see what Shredder's attack will be. Oh. Shred Head. During combat, add +1 for each foot soldier in Shredder's burrow. So this is the combat that we are dealing with currently. It is a 3 to 3. He's in the Bronx. No foot people are in the Bronx. So we will successfully block his attack and we'll resolve our after combat. So we'll do my one first because I guess that's kind of how it usually works in Unmatched. Defender will resolve first. So another space in their zone. So it is yellow and green. Let's bring him down here. So we're going to bring him. No, I wouldn't mind trying to punch him on my next turn, but I don't have a lot of cards to do that. So let's just, we'll just send him where he's 1 spot. We're going to go over here. I'll send him over there and we'll resolve his after combat. So we'll deploy 1 person in Brooklyn. We'll chuck him kind of all the way up there. So the final thing that we have to do now when we run out of cards of the initiative deck is we move to the end of round phase. And what that means is that all the cards that we just pulled, we take a look to see which ones will activate. So because of the camera position, I've kind of butchered this. So I'm just going to have to actually lift it up and show you. So first we look at player 1 and nothing happens. Next is Bebop and Rocksteady. So if they are in the same zone as the villain will recover 1 health. Otherwise, they get moved to be in the same place as the villain. So they're up here in Queens, he's down in Brooklyn, and they're going to move and kind of go there to just potentially hit me once again. We go to player 2. Player 2 is nothing. We then go to Baxter. So what Baxter does is he swaps spaces with the hero that has the highest health, and then we put a Mouser token in that space if there isn't one already. So I have Leo on 16, Raph on 13. So they're going to swap there, and then we're going to put a Mouser token just right onto that spot there. Second last card is To the Streets with Shredder. Nothing happens. And the final one is we will have to advance the threat marker by 1 plus the number of burrows with a foot soldier in them. So we have a look here on the map. There is 1 Brooklyn and Manhattan. So it's going to go up 1 plus Manhattan and plus Brooklyn. So it's 1, 2, and 3. And that is the end of the first round. You will shuffle these cards as so, literally just like that. And then you'll be ready to kind of move on to the second round. Alrighty, so we now move to round 2, and I realize I didn't at once tell you guys what your objective is when you're playing this game. So against Shredder, it's really simple. Reduce his health. That's about it. So you're trying to see if you can beat him down before you run out of time, which will be by running out of burrows and they fall under threat, or losing health or running out of cards. Cool. Let's go right into it. So Bebop and Rocksteady are going to take the first move, and they're down here, and I see that Shredder is cheering them on from the other side of Brooklyn while they look at Splinter. So I'm going to look at the cards in my deck. Let's go with, I was going to go with Spatial Awareness, but the opposing fighter is not in fewer zones because he is in 2, or they're in 2, and we're in 1. So we might just, I will still play it. We will still play it even though it's not the best optimized move currently. And we will see Bebop and Rocksteady. Say your prayers, Turtles. If they start this turn in the villain zone, it's a 5 instead. So it's a 5 into 3. It's a good thing we defended and we didn't just take that on the chin, because that would have been detrimental to success for survival, obviously. Cool, so these two will go away, and we'll now see who activates next. It is Shredder. So Splinter is getting some work put into him, and we're actually running out of cards in our hand, which is not great. We are going to have to play I Have a Plan, I reckon. So this is one that will be a value of 2, and we can discard a card to cancel all effects on the opponent's card and ignore its value. But I kind of like this card. You know, Protective Father is real cute, and it's only 2, and it's the only way we can actually heal. But I reckon we'll have to do it. So I am going to discard this just because I worry about our health, and we'll look at Shredder. Blades all over. So if Shredder's initiative card is revealed, it'll be put on the bottom of the deck, and that is what's going to happen. So that is a, no, it's not. I'm so sorry. So I discarded a card, meaning that this gets cancelled and the values mean nothing. So we take no damage, and this is good because with this card, if you have already revealed Shredder's initiative card, it essentially is going to go on the bottom of the deck, meaning that he will get to have another turn. But because we cancelled it out with this ability, the Shredder gets absolutely nothing. And now it's our turn. Cool. So Splinter has taken some damage, or took a little bit of damage, but he was a part of a big fight. And now we might get him to scurry away because there's a lot of stuff going on down here. So I'm going to take the maneuver action. We do only move 2 spots. So he's going to go 1, 2. And because it was a maneuver, I can get rid of this foot soldier token. We can also move Leo. So he will go 1, 2. I also did forget to use Leo's ability, which is too late now, but I need to remember because I think I always forget to do that. And then we're going to maneuver again. So we draw a Wise Beyond His Years, and then we'll just move again. So he's going to go 1, 2, and come join his brethren up at the top, clearing all the foot soldiers in Manhattan. And then we're going to go 1, 2, and hang out up in the Bronx. Okay, so we've got a bit of space now, and player 2 gets to activate. All right, so Raph is up. Now, Raph is quite far away from all of the action, which is not ideal for how his playstyle is. But we are going to start by maneuvering. We're going to go 1, 2. I am going to discard 1 card. Let's get rid of one of these break somethings. We'll get rid of this one just so we can add that to our boost value. Now, what that means is so we can discard a card and add its boost value to our movement. Now, the reason I've done this is so I can make this a 3 to be able to get rid of our foot soldier token from Brooklyn. But also, I want it to be in the purple zone as well because Casey is ranged, so I'll be able to make an attack here. And then with Raf, I don't know, 1, 2, 3. Sure. All right, we are going to attack Bebop and Rocksteady. So we're going to play this Relentless, and we will reveal the top card of their deck, which is, take that, Shellbrain. So it is going to defend for 2, and then afterwards it gets placed in a space in the villain zone. He already is in the villain zone, so I'm not going to move that. We will deal 1 damage, reducing them to 4. Let's take them out. But most importantly, we then get to shuffle this back into our deck and draw 1 card, which is a good thing to do, especially in this game mode where sometimes you might get stuck with having no card draw. So being able to have this always as an option to shuffle and then regain a card, especially when we could start getting some attacks more thrown our way, is pretty good. We have pulled a break something. So the game wants us to have this card, and it has once again given it to us. All right, next up is To the Streets. So we'll be deploying 2 foot soldiers into Brooklyn. So we'll go 1 over there because that really helps us. And then we'll go 1, I guess, over here because that is less helpful. I could have put it there, just didn't feel like it. So the last person to activate will be Mr. Baxter Starkman. So he'll move 3. Let's go 1, 2. And we'll try and attack Leo. So here, once again with Leo, he has this whole thing in his kit about being in more zones than the opponent, but I've never once successfully done that or paid attention to it. Leo's on 16 health. I only have 3 cards in hand. I am not going to defend. I'm just going to take it and hope that it is not something that's going to hurt. All right, so that's a 2. After combat, place a mouse token on the hide numbered starting space of that one. And if nothing was placed, then it would go in the bottom of the deck. So that's a 2. I will take 2, which is not bad, pushing me down to 14. And then I will grab one of his tokens. And so number 5 is here. Number 4 is over here. So the mouse token will go over there. And now we'll move to the end of round phase. So we go through all the cards once again. So Bebop is going to recover. No, the villain's going to recover 1. He is already on full health, so he won't recover. Next is going to be Shredder. The Shredder is going to advance the threat by 1, plus the amount of burrow. Hello, it's Xana again from the future, and essentially I have done this wrong. I did realize it later in the video, but just don't take what you're about to see in terms of advancing the threat marker too literally. Burrows with foot soldiers. So luckily we did really well that turn, and out of all the spots, there's only foot soldiers in Brooklyn, there and there. So that's only going to go up by a single space. Next would be player 1 and player 2, and they have absolutely nothing, so that is completely fine. Then you've got Shredder to the Streets, which again, nothing happens with that. And finally is Baxter Stockman, and Baxter will swap spots with the hero with the highest health, which once again is us. So we go here and here. Mouse a token in that spot, and that is the end of round 2. So as you kind of see, once you get the hang of it, the game really flows quite well. I think it's got a great pace. If anything, based on my experience, it plays faster than I would have thought. I would have always thought it had more time. But speaking of time, let us carry on. First up is Baxter. So Baxter is going to attack us because we're right next to Baxter. We only have 3 cards in our hand, but we still are going to have a turn soon. And luckily for us now, I can play this card because we are in more zones than Baxter. Baxter's only in orange, we're in orange and green. So we are going to get the payoff to this card. You almost would think that I planned it properly, but I didn't plan it at all. Now I will reveal it down here this time, and I'll see him post if that works. Cool, so his attack is 2, and after combat, place a token on the highest number space once again, and if I didn't, then he would essentially get another turn later. So 6, so we've got 5, 4, number 3, where's number 3? Over here. So we will put one over there, and we will not take any damage. Great stuff there from Leo. Cool. All right, next up in the initiative deck is player 1. So before I take my turn, I'm going to remember this time the rules, which is I can move myself 1 spot, or I can move anybody 1 spot. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to just move, I don't want to move him. Oh, this is tough. Let's move Raph down here. I'll move him 1 spot. All right, now we're going to take our turn. So I'm going to start by, I'll start by attacking. Sure, let's attack. All right, so we're going to play this up here. We're now going to reveal for Baxter. What's he got? Sometimes they explode. So if Baxter won the combat, each player has to discard the top card of their deck. He did win the combat because he did not take any damage, so we will lose another card from top of our deck, which is Protective Father. And now we'll do R1, which lets us place each fighter adjacent to our fighter in another spot in their zone. So Baxter already has had a turn, meaning that it doesn't really matter if I push him away. Unfortunately, the only issue is, it's not really an issue. Well, I'll throw him there. I was going to say if I could move him somewhere closer to Raph maybe, so Raph could kind of get some kicks in, but that doesn't really matter. Then we're going to maneuver. So I will draw a card, which is for Sensei, and then we will take some moves. So I think we're just going to go 1, 2, and hang out down there. And then with Splinter, we will move past here. Go 1, 2. No, we'll go 1, 2, 3. We'll be over there. Cool. Who's next? It is player 2. So now Raph and Casey are going to go. Again, Casey's in a great spot to attack, but I have no Casey cards here. So I will have to start by maneuvering. And I've drawn another Raph card, meaning that we are missing out on that great, real good spot, actually. That's okay. So I'm going to boost with break something. I will discard that so we can move 3 instead of 2. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 over there. And we'll go 1, get rid of this. We'll go 2 and 3. Now it's important to know as well that this is a rule. When you are taking the maneuver action, you can only pick one of your fighters to be able to remove foot soldier tokens. So I couldn't remove it in that turn with both Raph and also Casey. Only one of them would have been able to do it. That was our first action. Next, we are going to attack. So we will play break something, and we are going against Shredder, of course. So that is going to be, why did I play that upside down? So we'll play that for a 2. Shredder goes Shredhead. Essentially a 2, we could cancel, or we can just cancel everything, all during combat and after combat effects on the card, which kind of sucks because I wanted to lose this one and I didn't lose this one. So, dang, all right. Shredder takes his first point of damage. Huzzah! But we have ended our turn. I probably should have planned that out better. I wanted to fake that once, I had an extra action, so I could then play Turtle Power and attack him for 6. But we will be stuck with the 1, and also we have no defensive cards, meaning that Raph is going to have a tough time starting now. So Shredder is going to attack. We can't defend, so we are just going to reveal his card, which is Blades All Over. After combat, because Shredder's initiative card has already been revealed, it will go on the bottom of the deck. And we're taking 3. So Raph goes from 13 down to 10. Dang. All right, next is to the streets. So once again, we will start deploying in his zone. Let's go there and there. That kind of makes sense. Then we have Bebop and Rocksteady who are going to activate. Bebop and Rocksteady are going to also attack Raph. We will reveal their card, which will be Take That, Shellbrain. So they are going to be dealing 4 damage, putting Raph from 10 down to 6. Uh-oh. This is getting a little hairy because the last card is, of course, Shredder once again, because we had to put it on the bottom of the deck before. And now, once again, we will have to take it. And it is a 4. And we will be putting Shredder in a burrow with the fewest soldiers and then deploying. So out of nowhere, Raph went from being really healthy all the way down to 2 health. Well, aren't we just in a great situation? Then we can kind of pick where we want to put Shredder. I would like Shredder to go into Manhattan. So it goes into Manhattan, and then we get to deploy 2 people. We're going to go 1 over here and 1 over here, just to do that. Okay, end of round. We resolve everything again. So first is Baxter. Baxter looks at who has the most health. Obviously, it is Leonardo with his 14 compared to Raph's 2. So he's going to swap with Leo, and then he's going to place a Mouser token in the spot that he is in now. Next would be player 1, player 2, and then Shredder to the streets. They all have nothing in the end of round effects. Now it is Bebop and Rocksteady, so they are not in the same zone as the villain, so they are now going to move to be in the same zone as the villain. They're going to move right here to try and finish Raph off. And finally is Shredder. So with Shredder, we advance the track by 1, plus the amount of burrows that have foot soldiers. It's going to go 1, 2, 3. Cool. Yeah. Cool. So I just had a look at my what I did before. He actually should have gone up by 2 on that previous one where I pushed him up by 1. So he is going to be on 4 now. Cool. So that is the end of the round. We will once again grab all of the initiative cards and shuffle them together. And yeah, he is getting real close to being at the end of the track here, meaning that once he gets there, which will be next turn probably, I'll get to explain how his win condition works. Alrighty, so let us continue now. So we're shuffling up the initiative deck to see who activates next in this next round. Let's have a look. And Baxter will be going up first. So once you kind of get into the flow of how the game works, it does just fly by really easily. Baxter's going to come down here. He's going to look to attack Raph. Raph only has 2 attack cards left in his hand, meaning that if I flip up this Baxter card and it is an attack, then we will have lost Raphael, but luckily it is actually a deception. So nothing will happen. Raph survives another turn. We will shuffle back this and we will continue with revealing the next card in the initiative. All right, player 2. So it is Raph. Now, Raph is currently chilling here in between. Who's he in between? He's between Bebop, Rocksteady, and Baxter. And I really think that we have to try and take someone down with us to see if we can give Leo a fighting chance. With Unmatched Adventures, unlike normal Unmatched, essentially after Raph passes away, is defeated, I'll still get to use Casey. So Leo's not going to be abandoned completely. But yeah, it's just going to be a lot harder. So I think maybe we should start with, we'll just go straight into it. We are going to play, all right, we'll go with Let's Do This. I'm hoping to lose the combat. Yeah, I'm hoping to lose the combat with my thing of 1 so that I can then draw a card and see what I can do next. So we're going up against Bebop and Rocksteady. I reveal, and that is a deception. So I won the combat, which is a shame. Well, see, that's the thing. That's the irony, right? I'm like, oh, winning combat is such a shame, but he is down to 3. So I'll be reshuffling this now, of course. But the positive side is because I won combat, I get to draw 2 cards, which, you know, that's not bad. So we've got the same card again and a crowd control, which will be good for the next turn. All right, well, I think we kind of just have to send it. So we are going to play Turtle Power. And we're just going to go for an attack. Rocksteady and Bebop will reveal. they do a take that shell brain. So we've got a 3 into a 2. They're currently going to be taking 1 damage. I do have the option to boost this attack. So I am going to discard this to add 3, turning mine into a 6, dealing 4 damage, and therefore removing Bebop and Rocksteady from the Battle of New York. Alrighty, so with Bebop and Rocksteady removed, there are now only 5 initiative cards. So it will come into crunch time a lot sooner. So it is now Leo's turn. We've got 2 cards in our hand. We are up here currently. I think we might start by maneuvering. So I'm not going to forget this time once again. I am going to, all right, I'm going to use my free action to move Shredder up here. And then we will start by maneuvering. So I'm going to draw a card from my deck, and I have picked up a katana, which is not bad. Then I guess I'm going to stay put up here, but with Splinter, we are going to move 2. So we're just going to go 1, and then, sure, 2. So we'll do that. So get rid of 1 foot soldier. And then I'm going to just swing with a 6. We're just going to go right into Shredder with our sword in hand, our katana in hand, and Shredder reveals dishonorable Oruka of Oroku Saki. If there are 3 or more foot soldiers in the burrow, which there are not, there's only 1, it would ignore the value of the opponent's card. Otherwise, it would just be a 2. So 6 minus 2 is 4. We get a big hit onto Shredder, bringing him down to 16. So the good thing about having gotten rid of Bebop and Rocksteady is that Shredder won't be able to heal, because that was something that they were letting him do, which, you know, it's not bad, makes things a little easier for us. But now we will have to deal with Shredder's mischief. So Shredder will have his turn, and Shredder is just going to attack us up here. We're on 14 health. Look, there are 4 cards left in his deck. I am going to defend. I think I made a mistake. I shouldn't have been as risky with Raph. So I will defend. I will play that 5. I will flip the top card up, and it is a deception. Oh no. So this card is gone. What a waste of a Heroes in a Half Shell. That is absolutely devastating. So we have lost our big defense card, which sucks. But we carry on. So that's the thing with especially Unmatched Adventures. Like, I was so close to not defending, which would have, you know, been the right call there, because there is always going to be just that slim chance they might not actually attack you. Oh well. All right. So now we have to do this again. So Shredder is going to be putting 2 foot soldiers in Manhattan. I will chuck 1 there, and then I will chuck 1, I guess, down here. Cool, it is the end of the round, so we'll go through all the abilities once again. So Baxter is going to swap spaces with me, and then he will put a Mouser token in this spot up here. He's kind of taking over the Bronx bit by bit. Player 2 has nothing, player 1 has nothing. Now it's time for Shredder. And Shredder, like we see on his card here, is going to move the threat track by 1, +1 for each burrow with soldiers in it. So it's going to go up by 1, +2, +3 for Manhattan and Brooklyn. So it goes 1 into here, 2 up here, which goes back down to the start, and then 3 down here. So every time the track reaches up here, a burrow will fall. So the Bronx will go from being under threat to having been fallen. Now, if there were any foot soldiers up here, we would flip their sides from the normal foot soldiers to the backside. I believe the term for this one, I will find the exact term for it. I think it's they're like dug in or something is what it says on here, they're entrenched. So they go from patrolling to entrenched. Now, when a foot soldier is entrenched, it cannot be removed by any means. Anytime you were to move over it, just as an example, let's say that this one was entrenched, every time you'd move over it, you would take a damage. So luckily for us, there is nothing in the Bronx, but if he starts spawning stuff in the Bronx, it's going to be really hard to deal with. Cool. All right. So we shuffle everything back, and that's his objective. So his objective is to, I guess, make 4 burrows fall. What does that say? When a burrow comes under threat, put 1 foot soldier per player into that burrow. Okay, we also have to do that, which I only just realized now, and I know I didn't do it last game, so good to know now. Manhattan is under threat. So now 2 foot soldiers have to go into Manhattan. So the first one goes here, and because there are no more vacant spots, that means that we then have to spawn 1 foot soldier in the next burrow of the next highest starting location. So this is 5, so it'll come over here into 4, which means I have to chuck 1 over onto that spot there. All right, he's really getting a big reach in the foot soldiers, and they're getting stronger and stronger. Let's see what we can do. So Baxter is going to have a turn. Baxter is all the way up here. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, and he's going to go after Splinter. I have no defense, so the fly can do whatever he wants, and he attacks for 3. Cool. So this also says if Baxter won the combat, each player discards the top card of their deck. So we will lose 1 card for Leo, which is this quick strike. And then for Raph, who is still alive barely, we lose a break something. Okay. Next up, it is Leo's turn. So Leo is down here, and it's a bit of a tricky situation because I don't want to go onto either of those 2 spots and lose any cards. I will start by moving someone because that is what I can kind of do. So I'm going to move Raph 1 spot over there just to get him out of the way, although you can move through people. Then I am going to essentially maneuver. So I'll draw 1 for the first one, which is a turtle power. So it's me discard, and then I'm going to maneuver for 2. I'm just picking which way I want to go because I wouldn't mind kind of getting rid of some of the threats that are going on here. We'll do it. We'll go 1, 2. I'll get rid of this one. And then he's just going to go 1, 2. And then I'm going to maneuver again. So I will grab another card, which is Spatial Awareness. We're just going to go 1, 2, get rid of this one. And then I will bring him back up to there. Cool. Okay, so that is his turn done. Next on the initiative track is Shredder. So Shredder is going to go 1, 2. He will go after Leo because I guess Leo is probably more of a threat than Splinter. And unfortunately, I have no defensive cards that I can play with Leonardo. So we are just going to take this in the face. Beautiful. So everything would be cancelled. And if there are 3 or more foot soldiers, it would ignore the value of the opponent's card. I have no card I'm playing, so I am just going to cop 2 straight to the turtle face. Ouchies. Okay, next is Shredder's to the streets. So he is going to deploy foot soldiers into Manhattan. Again, there is no one left in Manhattan, no spots left, so they will go into Brooklyn. And finally, that means that Raph can take a turn. So before, I kind of wanted to move through this way. I also have no cards in my hand, so I am going to have to draw, and I guess that's not the worst thing ever. So I'll draw 1. That is a Heroes in a Half Shell, a defensive card that I would have loved to have earlier. I will maneuver. I'm just going to go 1, 2, get rid of this one. He might go 1 up to there. Then I will maneuver again. So I will draw. It is another Raph card, which isn't great when Raph's about to die, but it's okay. And this time we'll go 1, 2, and we'll get rid of these two. And then Raph down here, he can't really move anything, so he's just going to go 1 and 2. Let's try and get him out of danger. Cool. End of round. Baxter is going to look at the highest health person, which once again is Leo. And I, again, have not planned my turn properly because I've thrown Raph right into the deep end, which is so great for me. Cool, so that's that. Next is player 1. Next is Shredder, where we're going to now advance the threat marker once again. It's going to go up 1, 2, 3 to there. And that's all. So now we will shuffle. I really think I need Raph to take his turn first. Come on, player 2. Come on, player 2. It is player 2. Brilliant. Why can't I do that when I go to the casino? Cool. All right. So once again, I think we're just going to have to maneuver. But this time I've picked up Casey's card. That's cool. Cool. So we're going to go. Let's go 1. Where are we? Here we're going to go 1 and 2. Just jump up to there. Casey is going to stay right there because he's just going to swing. He's going to go for it. So he is going to attack Shredder. He is hitting for a 2. Shredder is also hitting for a 2. But if you look at Slapshot, it says if Casey is adjacent to the opposing fighter, this becomes a 6 instead. So 6 into 2 means that Shredder will take 4 damage and he will drop down to 12. Oh, that's pretty good. Now, there is an effect after this happens with blades all over. And what it is if Shredder's initiative card is revealed, it goes on the bottom of the deck. Otherwise, we'll deploy 1 foot soldier to his burrow and deal 1 damage to each hero and sidekick adjacent to the foot soldier. There are so many words. So of course, because this was the first turn of the new round, we have only done player 2, meaning that we will have to actually activate this ability. So we will deploy 1 person into Manhattan, and now everyone that is adjacent to a foot soldier will take a damage. So there'll be 1 damage here to Raph, putting him on 1 health. Then Leo's fine. Splinter will take 1, and Casey will also take 1. Cool. So next up we have Baxter, who will go again. And where is he? He's over here. So that's 1, 2, coming right into Raph. I am going to play the only defensive card I have left for Raph, which will be Heroes in a Half Shell. Baxter's hitting for 2. It is blocked, and his after combat says place a Mouser token on the highest number space. If no token was placed, then his initiative card goes back on the bottom. Unfortunately for us, we have all 6 of his tokens out here on the board, meaning that he is going to go on the bottom and get another turn in a couple of cards' time. So great. All right, next up is Shredders to the Streets. So we will go 1 in Manhattan here, and then we have to go another one down here in Brooklyn. We are then going to reveal Shredder is going to have his turn. So for his turn, he can attack Splinter. He will attack Splinter. Splinter is going to use spatial awareness. So because, I think we're looking here. Yeah, because old mate Shredster is in fewer zones, I will get to deal 1 damage to him after combat and draw a card, which is pretty handy. But we'll see what he wants to do on his turn. And he wants to hit us with Shredhead. So add 1 to the card's value for each foot soldier in his burrow. So that is currently a 3, and it will be 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool. So 7 into 3, meaning that Splinter takes 4 damage and goes down to 2 health, which is not good. But get to draw a card, and knock Shredder down to 11. We're getting there. I don't have much hope, but when the shells are against the wall, that's when the turtles come out and crawl. Well, they try their best, hey? Anyway, it is our turn now, and in my hand, these are the cards that I have here. So there are 2 attacks that Master Splinter could use. I am going to start by, of course, using my ability, which lets me move a spot. So we're going to move, I reckon, I just kind of want to get Raph out to keep him as alive as long as possible. But we are going to play Fearless Leader. So during combat, add +2 to this card's value for each other friendly fighter adjacent to the opposing fighter. So the good thing about this right now is we'll get +2 from Casey. So we've got a 3, that's actually a 5. I will then flip up for Shredder, and it is going to be a 1, but that's a 1 plus 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's actually only ends up being a 5 into 5. And then after combat is deploying a soldier into his burrow, but that's already full, so he goes down into Brooklyn. Yeah. I think we are starting to kind of get overrun here, which is not great. But nonetheless, I think we'll just attack again. So we're going to play for Sensei. So that's a 4. Shredder, flip up his card. It's a 2. So he takes 2 damage, and we go down to single digits. Finally, wrong way. We are getting somewhere. Only 9 health left, but his after combat is, if his initiative card is revealed, which it is, it's going to go on the bottom. So he is going to get another turn, which is not ideal for us wanting to be alive. But for Sensei, after combat, can move both fighters 1 space, and I can discard a card to get an action. So can move both people 1 space, meaning I could move him. That nowhere really is helpful. I'm sure I'll move him over here just to get him out of that way there. And then I guess I will maneuver. So I'm going to discard turtle power from my hand. Oh, no, I won't. I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave him there, and I'm going to end my turn. Cool. So Shredder's card is going to go back on the bottom here, but Baxter will have his turn first. So Baxter comes up. Baxter takes 1 step, and he's going to go after Splinter. I have no defensive card to play, so I will just reveal Baxter's card, which is chewing through everything. So it is going to be a 1, and if the threat level is 3 or higher, then it would be more. But a threat level is only on 2. So Splinter takes 1 damage, 1 damage, and lives on for now. Oh my gosh. All right, of course, lastly is Shredder. So Shredder will come back in. He will take 1, and I think I'm going to let Shredder attack Splinter. So I reveal a 4. Splinter is gone, and then I have to put him in the burrow with the fewest soldiers and deploy 2. So Splinter is officially gone, and I guess we're going to go, we have choices. We'll go up here. Well, I think it's supposed to go in order of things, right? So where's 3? 3 is up in the Bronx. So I'll put him up in the Bronx. He's now going to put 2 people in here. And because the Bronx has fallen, that means that these guys, wrong spot, sorry. That means that these foot soldiers cannot be moved and will deal a damage every time I try and walk into it. Great. Cool, now we're going to reveal and act the end of round abilities. So Baxter, he is going to swap places here with Leo. I have no more Mouser tokens to put down, so nothing happens. And then Shredder is going to advance this by 1 plus 1 for each burrow. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, look. With Raph only on 1 health, it's going to come down to Leo. Okay. Just shuffling up here. And let's go. So Raph is first. Now Raph is down here in the corner, meaning he is the only person in prime position to try and attack Shredder. So we're going to maneuver first. So we'll go 1, 2. I will draw my card. I guess I may as well just do it here. Get rid of these two with that. What did I pull up? I pulled up a Casey ability. I kind of just have to attack, right? Casey's not going to do much. So we are going to play Turtle Power. I will attack Shredder. I'm going to reveal Shredder's card, which is that one. Now, Dishonorable Oroku Saki immediately cancels all effects on this card. And if there are 3 or more foot soldiers, it would also cancel the number. There are only 2. So Shredder's going to take 1, but it does not let me boost the combat value, which is what I really wanted to do in the first place. That's 2 actions. That ends my turn. Next up is player 1. So I am down here. I'm going to think for a second. So we lost Splinter. We're down here. I will move. Where should I move Shredder? I might move him 1 over here, just so he's down there. But why? What's the point of doing that? I don't know. No, okay. So I am just going to chuck him. See, it's tough. I'm just going to go there. So I'll put that there. I'll take a maneuver action. So I will draw a card, which is I have a plan. Then I guess we're going 1, 2, and 1, 2. Let's just do this. We have to play a little defensively this turn while we get stuff. Then I've got that one. So we'll go 1, 2. Get rid of these 2, but I will have to discard the top card of my deck for going onto the Mouser token, and I discard Fearless Leader. Okay, next up will be Shredder. Now Shredder will move 3. He's just going to move 1 here. He's going to attack Raph. I have no card that I could possibly play, so Raph is now going to get attacked, and yeah, Raph is gone. So the Shredder slices through Raph, knocking him out. And after combat, I have to deploy 1 more soldier into the Bronx as he goes with iron claw. That's a horrible impression. Cool. Next up is to the streets. So there will be 1 more there and then 1 more there. And the Bronx has completely fallen, which is absolutely miserable if you are a Knicks fan. All right, finally will be Baxter. Can Baxter get somewhere within 3? 1, 2, 3. He can. Baxter's going after Casey. I do have a defensive Casey card I can play, but I really want to save that for the attack. So I am not going to defend, and I will reveal a deception. Bang. Cool. Great self-control. So a deception is 0 attack and 0 defense. So good thing I didn't waste my good card on that attack, because that would have been absolutely atrocious. Cool. Now we'll go to the end of round. So player 2 does nothing, player 1 does nothing. For Shredder, we will have to reveal and advance a threat marker by 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So it's 3. So it's going 1, 2, 3. And Manhattan has now fallen. So Manhattan goes there. Queens is under threat. So we will have to put 2 over here into Queens, which is okay. And then we will do Baxter, who will just switch spots with me. Look at that. It's kind of helpful. Thanks, Baxter. All right. So now I'll shuffle up and we'll see what happens now. So we're just getting towards the spicy time of the game, but Shredder only has 8 health left. And the fact that he is only on 8 and, you know, Leo's got 12 and Casey has 7 gives me some kind of semblance of a chance. So the Bronx is gone. So it's 5, 3. 4. I think they can go up here. So Brooklyn and Brooklyn. Baxter will take his turn. He's going to go, can he get? He can. So he'll go 2 to there. I will check on this side here what I can do. I think I might have to play, I have a plan. So I am going to play that for a defense of 2. I will not discard a card to cancel everything on this. I will just cop that. So I will block it, and because I cannot place a Mouser token onto a spot because I'm out of Mouser tokens, Baxter will go and move his card on the bottom of the initiative deck. Now, can I reveal myself? I can. So I am going to use my ability to move Shredder 1 spot. I am then going to take my first action to maneuver. So I will draw Wise Beyond His Years and go 1, 2. And now I am going to go for an attack. So I will play Turtle Power for 3. I will reveal the top card of Shredder's deck, which is a Deception. Brilliant. So it is a 0, and during combat I can boost that card, and look what I have in my hand. Leonardo leads with a boost value of 4. So 4 plus 3 is actually 7, and Shredder will go from 8 all the way down to 1 health. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely huge. All of a sudden, I think we're home. I think there is no way whatsoever that we can lose from here. We just have to deal 1 damage to Shredder, and we are so through. Cool. Those are my 2 actions. Now I will reveal next. It is going to be with an attack. And right now, Shredder is chilling in this zone, which is orange and white. So I could go for a range attack, but my value is 2, and I did just reshuffle Shredder's deck. So I'm not too confident on being able to be successful from this far. So I will take a bit of a risk. I'm going to maneuver, and I pick up this Raphael card, which I cannot use anymore, but that's okay. I'm going to go 1 and 2. Because I move over this token, Casey takes a damage and moves down to 6. But I am right in the correct spot to play Slapshot. So during combat, because I would be adjacent to Shredder, this value will be worth 6, depending on what this first card is. Okay, so the value will not be worth 6 because this cancels all effects on the opponent's card, and it also cancels the value out. Maybe I spoke too soon. Have I just lost myself the game through being way too overconfident? Who knows? But I did just lose combat, which means I gain an action. And with that next action, I am going to draw another card. I'll take another maneuver. So I'm going to draw a card. And again, I've picked up a Raphael card, which is not helpful whatsoever. But what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to boost my movement. So I'm going to boost it for 4. And I'm going to move 6 just so I can get out of here. So I'll take another damage. What am I doing? Sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So get rid of these 2, and I will discard a card from the top of my deck. And I've discarded a Casey card. Uh-oh. Restoration games have heard me, and they are going to make me suffer for being so confident. Okay, Shredder takes a turn. Shredder is just going to turn around and attack us. I am going to just play Wise Beyond His Years, but Shredder is in more zones than I am, so I am not going to get the second benefit from that card. And I reveal a Shred Head, which is a value of 3, +1 for each foot soldier in my burrow. So that is going to be 3 plus, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to be 8 damage minus the 2, which will be 6. So I go from 12 all the way down to 6. So I had a nice strike with my katana, and then Shredder has followed it up with a Shred Head attack. Oh, what a trade. This is a great battle between these two, but I still would hope that we are in a better position than Shredder, given that we are not on 1 health. I reveal the final card. It is Baxter, of course. So Baxter will go again. He'll move 1 spot, go after Casey. Casey does not have a card he can play, and I'm just going to kind of hope. I'm going to hope that this will not kill him. So that's going to deal 2 damage, which Casey will take, and he will go from 6 all the way down to 4. All right, we move to the end of round. We will activate Shredder. So the threat marker is going to go up 1 plus, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's getting quite hairy. And then Baxter will switch spots with me. And because we land on his token, we discard the top card of our deck. Oh, this is getting high pressure. This is serious. Can the Turtles save New York City, or will it fall to the Shredder's rule? Shredder plays to the streets, so we will deploy tokens to his burrow. Again, the Bronx is currently full, so we will go 1 into Brooklyn. No, we'll go into Manhattan, sorry. So Manhattan will get 1 and 2 because Manhattan has the highest spawn value. I think that's how the rules work. Cool. All right, player 2. So it is our turn. We are Casey, and the issue is we are so far away. But luckily, Casey is ranged. So if I can get here, I'm able to somehow shoot a puck all the way across Queens into the Bronx and hit him somehow. So I'm going to maneuver for my first action, which picks up a Raphael card, which doesn't help. We're going to go 1, 2. I will discard this one to use its boost value to move 2 more. And then I kind of have to just draw another card. And that is a Casey card. I wish I had that one on my turn. That would have been very helpful, but unfortunately I don't. I'm just going to move 1 here just so I'm harder to reach by Shredder. Cool. All right, next up in the initiative deck is Baxter. So Baxter is going to make a move. He'll go 1, 2, and he is looking right at us. Again, I've got no defense card to play. Come on, Casey, please be strong. Oh, it does 3 damage. Casey will go down to 1 health. Seems to be a repeating theme here. Oh man, all right, so because he won the combat, I will have to discard the top card of both of the player decks. So Raph will lose 1 and Leo will lose 1. I'll then reveal the next card in the initiative is going to be Shredder. And Shredder's going to go 1, 2, 3, right up the guts. And he's going to attack Leo. So Leo has no cards. So if this attack does more than, still does 6 damage, we are in strife. Cool, I will reveal, oh man, maybe next time Turtles. So he's going to hit for 4. We will take 4 and go from 6 all the way down to 2. Next, we have to put him in a burrow with the fewest foot soldiers and then deploy 2 there. So Staten Island has none. So he's going to go here into Staten Island, and then he will deploy 2 boys down here, or 2 feet. I guess is feet the plural. Who knows? All right, so we will have the last turn as Leonardo. We are over here. I'm going to start by, he's in the Bronx currently, and I don't want him to be in the Bronx because if he draws one of those cards that gives him a +1 for all the people in his area, he's going to get so many benefits. So I'm going to move him down here into Staten Island. I feel like that's the smart play, but I worry that I might not have enough cards to move. So I'll take a maneuver. So I will draw a card, and then I'll go, I'm just going to go 1, 2. I will get rid of this one. I don't think I'm going to make it to him in time to be able to attack, Because even if I had boosted from going the other way, I would have then had to use my second action to draw. So I'm going to then maneuver again, which gives me the splinter card. I think I will have to stay. Oh no, let's go. Yeah, I will stay. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Now we will resolve everything. So Baxter, yeah. Baxter switches spots with us up at the top because we have more health. Then Shredder will advance the threat marker by 1 plus 1, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes up 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Queens has now fallen. So because Queens has fallen, that's going to turn into there. Staten Island is under threat, so there will be 2 more people added to Staten Island, which just makes him stronger, unfortunately. Yeah, which is kind of wild. And play on, do nothing. Okay. I think this is it. I think this is the final turn. This is what it all comes down to. I've been playing this game for an hour and a bit if you're watching the full playthrough, or if you're just watching the final bits. Welcome to crunch time. So, Shredder has taken over the Bronx. He has taken over Manhattan. He even is starting to get people in Queens. I mean, Queens has fallen, but there's not that many people there. He has 1 health remaining. All that I'm left with is Leo on 2 and Casey on 1. At the end of this turn, if we do not knock Shredder on his ass, then we will have officially lost and New York will be gone, and who knows? Honestly, I don't know. Who knows? So, what are we going to do? All right, let's shuffle this up. Cool. Okay. Here we go. Shredder will be going first. So Shredder, on his turn, he moves 3 spots. Now, we are on the other side of the map. So he's going to move 3 towards us, which goes 1, 2, 3, and he moves into Manhattan. But because he can't actually reach us, the threat marker will go up by 1. Okay. I see what's happening here. Is the game actually helping us? Let's see. Okay, where's the deck? It's here. I draw. This is getting tense. Okay, so it's actually our turn. Okay, so I'm going to use Leo's ability. So Leo's ability, as we said earlier, he can move any fighter 1 spot. So I'm going to bring Shredder closer to me. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm just hoping, right? I'm hoping that if I fail this attack, that Casey gets drawn next and that he can attack from range. I will attack. So I have a plan. I can discard 1 card, and if I do, I can cancel all effects on the opponent's card and ignore its value. I play it. I will discard Splinter from my hand, which should mean that no matter what this card is, unless it says this can't be cancelled, we will have knocked him out. Okay, it's a deception. So the value of deception is automatically 0, meaning that we have plunged our katana into Shredder's core, thrown him out of New York, right in the heart of Manhattan, and we have saved New York City. And that is how you turtle. I am lost for words. That was so incredibly tense. I feel like I need a massage now. But no, thank you very much for watching. I couldn't have done it without your support, quite frankly, even though it's not live. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. I have been your unofficial Australian board game correspondent, and until next time, Happy gaming from Down Under.